Hello, and welcome back to the Cricket Nerds podcast. I'm joined today by our full contingent, James and Zach. How are you boys doing?
Great.
I'm doing all right.
Poor James.
Yeah,
Poor James.
Supports a terrible team.
Well,
pretty
the thing
much.
is, I wasn't sure that it was too bad from Punjab, bowling-wise. We'll get on to the batting in a second. Yes, so today Lucknow Super Giants took on the Punjab Kings and the Lucknow Super Giants won. Punjab did win a toss
Yeah, finally.
and fielded first, but it seems that they are better at setting a score than chasing the score.
Well, I mean,
Well,
we had 100% success chasing before this.
There you go.
Yeah, I thought we actually bowled pretty tightly. I thought everybody sort of chipped in. Big shout out to Bairstow for an absolute screamer of a run out from some lazy running from Hooder. But yeah, overall, I thought like everybody chipped in a bit, apart from Livingston, really, who just doesn't seem to know how to bowl anymore. But yeah, other than that, I thought everybody sort of chipped in well. I don't know what you thought, Zach.
I thought Punjab bowled very well, especially Sandeep Sharma at the top. Definitely keep him in the side because him and Arshdeep bowling with the new ball and at the death is really good. And I feel like Livingston, yes, you're right, he's not bowling that well. Maybe use him in the power play as like just give him the odd over because then that kind of helps you with that sixth bowler option of him and Rishi Dhawan. But I do think that they let a few runs go at the end. They conceded a bit more than they wanted to. I think it's the last 3 overs went for a bit, and yeah, it wasn't great because if you think about Kagisa Rabada and Arshdeep Singh bowling at the death, they're two of the best death bowlers. And if they had to choose it, they were bowling to Chamira and Mohsin Khan, then you probably would have expected them to go, I don't know, 6 and over based on how they've been bowling this tournament. But
yeah,
so I think similar to the Royal Challengers game the other day, where they probably let the other team get a few more, they probably wanted to restrict them to more like 140, given where they were at. But never mind, it was still a good performance of the ball. Still, you take 153 at the halfway stage, you'd want to chase that. But yeah, Quinton de Kock batted really well. So did Deepak Hooda, but that was it. There was no one else. Literally, no one else did anything except for the Jason Holder, Chamira, and Mohsin Khan hitting a few at the end. But yeah,
A couple of cameos there, wasn't there? I think Big Storm and his big groin didn't last very long. 1 off 4. And wasn't looking very convincing. At that
Chahar back to form, I guess.
Yeah, that was good. That was definitely a bright spot. Was Chahar? He genuinely looked good.
But then 4 wickets for Rabada, which he's always a class act, isn't he?
Yeah, and he got some reward for it this time. But moving on to the Punjab game, Punjab innings, sorry. So Mayank looked quite good at the top, but then he only stayed for 25. So again, it's all right looking good, but if you're only getting 25, you need everybody else to chip in. And that's been a bit of a continuous problem with Punjab, is we've got a brilliant squad. I genuinely think we've got a playoff level squad, but so many of our players just aren't in that really good form that they usually are in. So Bairstow genuinely looks really bad at the moment. He battled his way to 32 off 28. It was quite an attritional bit of batting, but he didn't look good at all. He didn't look comfortable. Mayank Agarwal also is he's not in great form at the moment. You can tell that it was the best he'd probably looked for his 25, but it still wasn't good. Shikhar Dhawan looked awful. He only got 5 off 15. And then, Rajapaksa and Liam Livingston just threw their wickets away. Livingston's was an absolute criminal one. I just thought it was so unnecessary at that point of the game to try and ramp an unrampable delivery. It was such a slow ball and it was a bit too short. It was so premeditated and so unnecessary. And then, just everybody else was a bit of a letdown, apart from Rishi Darwan, bless his heart. He tried his best, but he's not like I don't know. He's not a heavy hitter, is Rishi Darwan. Yeah, he's someone that you kind of expect to bat at about 120 strike rate. So he needed other people to stick around, but there were just a few too many soft dismissals.
I do think
Zach.
that they could have utilized Rishi Darwan a bit better because he is someone who sticks around. He's not someone who's going to win the game by scoring a 10-ball 30. He's not that sort of player. So I think Punjab got their tactics a bit wrong in terms of holding him back, because when they were 4 down for 88, you need about 70 off the last 8 overs, which is really doable. Actually, less than 70, which is really doable. And at that point where you're 4 down, you want to see someone with experience coming in to absorb the pressure, because you need wickets at the end. That's what's going to win you the games. And Punjab so often haven't had the wickets in hand at the end of an innings to put up a massive score. So that let them down today. So I think sending Rishi Darwan ahead of Jitesh Sharma, who's played a very good tournament and is able to strike the ball quicker, maybe send him in, or maybe even when they lost Shikhar Dhawan and Mayank Agarwal, send Rishi Darwan in ahead of Rajapaksa to kind of slow things down a bit. But yeah, all in all, it's a bit rubbish, a bit smelly from the Punjab Kings. I think it's good for Johnny Bairstow because he hit 5 fours. He struck at over 100, and yes, he might not have looked convincing, but time in the middle and runs is so important. It doesn't matter how they come. For Johnny Bairstow to look at that scorecard and say, I top scored today with 32 of 28, that will do him good. So yeah, there are a few positives for Punjab. It's not all terrible.
No.
So yeah, what can you do?
I think though I think Lucknow bowled really well though. That's just the other thing. Like, I don't think we should take anything away from the Lucknow bowlers and blame it all on the batters. I think 2 in particular, Ravi Bishnoi and Krunal Pandya, bowled really good spells. I think Bishnoi, his delivery to get rid of Shikhar Dhawan was fantastic. Even though the dismissal may have been a little bit soft, but I think he still bowled a really good ball to get rid of him. And Krunal Pandya, with having a wicket maiden in there, was just looking really good. And I think the difference today was the fact that Punjab didn't have 2 good spinners in their side, or both their spinners didn't, go off, whereas Ravi Bishnoi and Krunal Pandya both bowled really well. And I think it's you found with this tournament especially that having 2 spinners is something that's really important and really helps the team. That, and also
I don't think Ravi Bishnoi bowled that well at all today.
I know he took a few good wickets, and he didn't really start getting hit around until his last over. But I think his other one where he went for 2 sixes and 1 4 wasn't great either, but he still managed to get a crucial wicket early on, I think, and I think that was the difference there. Interesting fact, the 16th over for both sides went for 2 runs and 1 wicket. There you go. Take from that what you want. That's a fun fact about that game.
Yeah, I personally thought the absolute highlight of the bowling for them was Krunal Pandya, definitely, and Chimera. I thought he just bowled brilliantly, and he was so tight, and he took vital wickets. Mohsin Khan, he bowled all right. He got gifted a few wickets really, but he did what he needed to do, and to walk away with economy of 6 is always good, especially if you get 3 scalps. But yeah, other than that, I thought it was pretty tight bowling from Lucknow, but they also I just think Punjab had it in the bag, and then they kind of threw it away. So should we guys hear some villains? Because I want to get mine out the way. I'm going to say my hero is Krunal Pandya. I thought it was absolutely brilliant with the ball. Just gave nothing away and was always threatening. And my villain is Liam Livingstone, because he didn't bowl very well. And his wicket at that crucial time was the turning point. And that was what really swung the game into Lucknow's favour. Whereas before, with Bairstow and Livingstone in the middle and quite a modest total to chase, it was ours to lose, really. So Livingston, you didn't do well today, mate. What about you, Zach? What do you think?
My hero is a bit of an unusual one, and I'm going to go with Kale Rahul. You're probably thinking he scored 6 off 11. How is he the hero? Well, I think I know he did very well in terms of his captaincy in picking Chamira and Khan to bowl Mohsin Khan to bowl the death overs, because he could have very easily turned to Jason Holder, who has delivered time and time again at the death, but he only gave him 1 over. Instead, he trusted his young lads, and they delivered. And I thought that was really brave and good captaincy to give them that experience of bowling at the death, and they bowled really well. So that's my hero. In terms of villain, I would say Shikhar Dhawan. He just didn't score quick enough at the top. He didn't look fluent, and it's weird because Dhawan either in this tournament has looked really good or really bad. There's been no
he's been hot and cold, hasn't he?
Is there?
Yeah.
So, but he's still one of the top run scorers in this IPL. He just does it every year, doesn't he? So, yeah. What about you, Benj?
My hero is actually going to be Rishi Dhawan, because he tried really hard. He tried really hard at the end, and I think he bowled 2 decent overs. Only went for 13 off both of them. My villain is actually going to be Rajapaksa, because I think his wicket was probably one of the bigger turning points in the game. Like, they've just come out of power play, scored pretty well, did not need to get out like that. Was just trying a bit too hard, and like they did have some batting to come, and they were trying to get on with it, but they probably should have just tried to knock it around for a few more balls, get themselves in before trying to kick off.
Yes, I agree. So on to comment of the day, and this one is from Jai Singh, who said, "No comment, just enjoyed your discussion. Cheers." So yes, thank you, Jai. Thank you for your support. If you want to be in with a chance of becoming the comment of the day, leave a comment, make it a good one, and we will probably reply. We like having the discussion. Let us know, what can Punjab do to fix this little mess they're in, because I think they've got the combination right. So how do they need to bat? What do they need to do? Let us know. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. And predictions for tomorrow's game, boys.
Well, there are 2. It's a double header, and we see probably the 2 informed teams in Rajasthan Royals and Gujarat Titans taking on probably the 2 teams with the lowest confidence in Royal Challengers Bangalore and Mumbai Indians. So Gujarat versus Royal Challengers is happening at 11 our time. It's obviously going to be different in India. But my prediction is obviously Royal Challengers with that one. Always going to predict them, boys. What about you 2 for that game?
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to predict Titans, just because they're on such a good run of form. They're all performing with the bat, even the bowlers, and RCB are in such a lull at the moment. They just come off some pretty smelly performances. So yeah, I'm not hopeful for RCB. And then in the second game, it's going to be Rajasthan, guaranteed. Mumbai get their, was it 9th loss on the row? Yeah.
Benj?
I'm backing Pandya. He is making his 100th IPL appearance tomorrow as captain of Gujarat. So my money's on Hardik Pandya's Gujarat Titans. However, in the interest of interestingness, I would like to see RCB winning. Okay. In the interest of an interesting table, I would like to see RCB winning. Royals versus Mumbai, I think it has to be Royals, isn't it? Mumbai have just looked so poor this season so far, and Royals have looked so great this season so far. And I do hope that Josh Butler gets back in the runs, because I put him as my fancy captain this week, so it's going to be embarrassing if not.
I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go with Mumbai because I want them to get their first win. I don't want Rajasthan Royals to win because that makes it easier for Royal Challengers to get in the playoffs. And you know what? I like being in this situation. I like being in the situation where people are like, yeah, Royal Challengers, no chance against Gujarat Titans. That fills me with hope. It's me. It means that the
Royal Challengers always do
sweeter.
better.
It'll be even
and
sweeter.
their backups against the wall. Yeah.
Yeah. So there we go. Right. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you tomorrow.